Sackboy: A Big Adventure is a 3D platforming game available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 consoles. The game requires you to control Sackboy through a variety of different platforming levels and bonus content. This post will look at the controls needed to play Sackboy and the in-game options related to the motor accessibility of the game. All of the footage in this video has been captured on a PlayStation 4 console. First, we will look at the default controls needed to play Sackboy: A Big Adventure. The left joystick will move Sackboy around. Tapping the cross button will make Sackboy jump. Tapping the cross button again while in the air will activate flutter. Tapping the circle button will activate roll. Tapping the square button will activate slap. Tapping triangle while Sackboy is in the air will activate nosedive. Pressing and holding the R2 button will make Sackboy grab. The R2 button will also activate the claw string. This item is available later in the game. Some levels have hidden weapons and items. The R1 button will use the item. The L1 button will discard the item. Pressing and holding the L2 button will enter acting mode. You can then use the right joystick to move Sackboy's arms. All directions on the D-pad can be used for different emotes and facial expressions. Sackboy: A Big Adventure has local and online multiplayer. When playing cooperatively, if the players get separated, R3 can be pressed to activate flare. This calls the assistance copter, which will reunite all of the players. Sackboy: A Big Adventure allows you to remap all the gameplay buttons. This can be useful for players who cannot access all of the controller or find certain buttons difficult to press. To remap the controls, go into the settings menu and select Customize Controls. You then press cross on the button you want to change and cross again on the button you want to remap to. You cannot remap buttons onto joystick directions. You also cannot remap the function of the options, share or touchpad. The controller settings menu has a few features that some players might find helpful. It is possible to change the vibration strength of the controller. By default, the vibration is set to maximum, but it can be turned down or completely off. The function of the left and right joysticks can be swapped. By default, the left stick is the primary stick, which controls character movement. By selecting to swap the joysticks, the right joystick will now control character movement. This option only swaps the sticks for gameplay. The left stick or D-pad is still required for menus. It is possible to invert the X and Y axis for the left stick, or the right stick if you have selected the swap left and right stick option. This option only works in gameplay. The axes are default in the game menus. The inner dead zone options enable you to adjust the size of the inner dead zone, which is the area in the centre of the stick where the stick will not register anything. Making the inner dead zone smaller means that the stick will register the movement sooner with less movement required. People with small movements might benefit from a smaller inner dead zone. People with tremors or involuntary movement might benefit from a larger inner dead zone, as the joystick will be less likely to register accidental movement. The outer dead zone option alters the size of the outer dead zone, which is the area at the very edges of the joystick where nothing is registered. A larger outer dead zone means that the player will not have to move the stick as far for the character to be at full movement. Sackboy: A Big Adventure requires accurate timing of button presses, sometimes in close succession. You also need to be able to access the buttons at the same time as the stick. The Game Assists menu has some options to help make some gameplay controls easier. roll option allows you to select whether roll is selected in gameplay by tapping the circle button or holding the circle button. Some players find holding buttons down difficult, so setting this to tap might be easier. The grab option allows you to select whether grab is activated by holding R2 or whether R2 is toggled. Having the toggle option selected means you do not have to constantly hold R2 while grabbing an object. Instead, the grab is activated by tapping R2 and then released by tapping R2 again. By default, to flutter, you need to press cross to jump, then cross again in the air to flutter. By selecting hold to flutter, flutter will be activated if cross is held down. This could be useful for players who find tapping buttons quickly difficult. Selecting infinite lives means that Sackboy will constantly regenerate. With this option selected, you will never have to restart the level and you will regenerate at the last checkpoint selected. Sackboy will still get injured by enemies and can still fall down gaps. Infinite lives cannot be turned on if you are in a level. You need to be in the world map to turn on this option. Some game levels require platforms to be moved manually. The Tilt Platform menu allows you to choose whether this is performed by tilting the whole controller or by using the right joystick. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions about motor accessibility in video games, please contact Special Effect.